Up until a month when North Korea revealed its first COVID-19 outbreak, the regime has claimed it was COVID-free for more than 2 years. KBS has obtained internal documents showing how North Korean state agencies were apparently responding to the virus in the early days of the global pandemic. At later Kim Jong-un's order, extra emergency countermeasures were drafted, and the isolation of fever patients was a key quarantine measure, possibly indicating the virus spread in the north from the initial days of the pandemic.
On January 22, 2020, North Korea shut down its border with China where COVID-19 was spreading fast. The North also suspended rail operation and flights with China and activated a national emergency quarantine system. These are according to documents drawn up by the Central Emergency Antivirus Headquarters on March 11, 2020. The papers outline a set of measures, including instructions to mobilize a minimal number of workers in construction and economic sectors in a short amount of time. Mask-wearing rules were also in place. People with fever were excluded from work, and those coming out of isolation could not work for 1 month. The ruling Workers' Party used a Korean term referring to patients suspected of infection. These suspected patients formally become infectees if they test positive in the first round of tests. They then receive a PCR test. The documents imply that North Korea had fever patients from the early days of the pandemic and could have kept this information private to prevent public unrest.
중증자 그리고 사망자가 늘어날 것이 예상이 되는 상황에서는 민심이 굉장히 흔들릴 수가 있고 지나친 두려움이나 공포를 심어주지 않기 위해서 부단히 노력을 하고 있다고 보셔야 됩니다.
Despite Pyongyang's lack of diagnostic equipment, the papers show how the regime still made efforts to differentiate suspected patients from infected patients. The ruling party's Science and Education Department set up extra emergency quarantine measures that included a 4-stage action plan involving testing, lockdowns, treatment and preparations in advance.
원인 모를 이런 발열자들을 비롯해가지고 그리고 기존의 이런 치료에 반응하지 않는 이런 사람들, 다시 말하면 코로나 환자들이 발생한 걸 북한 당도 알았다는 것입니다.
The party's propaganda department vowed to ban fishing activities near the military demarcation line and shut down all smuggling areas near the border. This points to the possibility that despite border closures, smuggling may have been rampant.